I want to look at 25 films that are going to come out from basically this weekend all the way to the beginning of May. What films am I excited about? Give a couple of quick previews of these films and talk about where they are. To have some fun with this, I'm planning to actually, the top tier, the S tier, the Let's Go tier, I am going to limit myself to only 5 films. So my top 5 films that I'm excited about for this spring will go there. And the other 20 are going to have to sit somewhere else. You think that this would be easy, but it won't be, because there's so many of these films that I'm definitely interested in. But let's go ahead and just get into it. So starting this weekend, we have a movie starring Willem Dafoe, if I can find it, called Inside. Inside is a film about a art thief who botches his theft and ends up getting locked into this super secure building that has no food. The temperatures are controlled in a way to protect the paintings and not him. It's like man versus nature, but in a building. Willem Dafoe is one of my favorite actors. I think he should have gotten an Oscar by now. He's been nominated 4 times and has not received one. He's one of the best character actors that we've had in the past 50 years. I'm going to put this at You Have My Attention. The other film that comes out this weekend is Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Zachary Levi, he said some stupid stuff. Recently, he put a really dumb Instagram post. I don't know why people in DC continue to try to basically tank their movies by putting out their really bad takes out there. Like, this promotes your movie. I'm not saying that you have to be fake, but if you know that you have some really bad takes or some takes that might ruffle some feathers, just be private. Have a private life. There's a reason why certain people protect their privacy. I try not to look at what actors, directors, and so forth do, unless it's something really egregious like a Roman Polanski type of thing. That all said, I'm going to put Shazam! Fury of the Gods at could be good. I think the first one was a big surprise, and because it was such a big surprise, the first would have, there's a lot that people have to live up to for that. But you got Helen Mirren, you got Lucy Liu, you got one of my favorites, Megan Good, right? I'm going to put Shazam! Fury of the Gods. It could be good. I'm going to keep it going because there's so many films here. Next film that comes out, it's going to come out March 24th, A Good Person. This is directed by Zach Braff. He is doing more and more directing. He directed a film that he wrote. It's called Garden State. This must have been at least 15 years ago. Florence Pugh stars. He wrote this movie with Florence Pugh in mind. They used to date. In fact, I think that they were living together during COVID when all this went down, when he was writing the script, and it was a script that's very personal to him because he was in the middle of grieving the loss of his sister when he wrote it. She may be my favorite actress working today. She's definitely top 5 actress working today for me. I loved her in so many things. She talks about how she only picks intense roles, and this is another one. She's dealing with loss and dealing with addiction, and also you have the great Morgan Freeman with this. There's no way this can be anything except really, really good. This could be, I'm not going to say it's going to be the Everything Everywhere All at Once of the spring this year, because it's just a different type of movie. I think it's going to be a pretty big downer for most of it. So I don't know if it's going to resonate or make the type of money or get the rewatchability that Everything Everywhere All at Once had. But it's going to be poignant, and maybe this will put Florence Pugh into some consideration later on when award season starts over again. Morgan Freeman can do no wrong. So I'm very excited about that. Next film is John Wick Chapter 4. Let's just cut to the chase. This is going to be one of my top 5 most interested, most excited about. Let's go. John Wick Chapter 4. There is actually a screener for critics tonight. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go, mainly because this movie is 3 hours long and the screener is like an hour away, and I got kids. So, but either way, I'm going to see this film. I can't wait to review it for you. I am at the belief if this film works, which there's no reason to believe that it won't, that John Wick will surpass The Matrix as not only Keanu Reeves' most recognizable franchise, but also his best franchise. John Wick is his Taken, but he's doing it better because all the films just get better and better and better. I mean, yeah, you could say that 2 was up and down, but 3 was amazing. And a 3-hour epic, I feel like that if they could have cut something that they would. I'm all here for John Wick Chapter 4. Next, we have a movie going to Apple TV on March 31st, and that is Tetris, starring Taron Egerton. I think it could be good. I mean, Taron Egerton, he did amazing job as Elton John. The story of the invention of Tetris should not be this interesting, but the trailer makes me interested. Like, I didn't know that the Soviets were involved and there was this big thing, and the Cold Wars is really a big part of this story. So I got a couple more comments. Let's get it, B. Yes, really excited for John Wick. Yes, absolutely. Excited for Tetris too. Could be good. Could be good. I don't know. Apple TV picks up really good projects, though. For the most part, I like all of their films. There's another straight-to-streaming movie that's going to happen on March 31st. Murder Mystery 2. I like Murder Mystery 1. I think people sometimes forget how great Jennifer Aniston's comedic timing is and how she was able to hone that on that show Friends. You know, I think about, was it Marley and Me that she was in? There are a couple of others. She does really good as a lead actor. She could do great as the love interest. She has really good comedic timing in terms of being the straight man. And I think that her and Adam Sandler had really great chemistry in the first one. The first Murder Mystery wasn't great, but it was good. So I have to say this could be good too. Next is Spitting Gold. This is the story about Casablanca Records. There was a big startup record company that was trying to compete with the major industries, titans of industry at the time. They did everything from R&B to rock and roll. They signed Kiss to Gladys Knight to whoever you can think of. They had working for them at one point. I'm gonna say Spitting Gold is gonna be meh. Look, there's a lot of great character actors. If you don't watch a lot of movies, a lot of TV, you're not gonna know who any of these people are. So I don't know if it's gonna be a draw for people. And also, I don't like how in the trailer it makes it seem like they're gonna paint Motown Records as being this big baddie in the film. Motown Records means just a bit too much to black people to try to negate them or make them seem like there's some sort of mafia industry. I mean, what Berry Gordy did for black people and black music and black film, I think that would probably rub me the wrong way. Now, did they send like Hitman after the people at Casablanca? I'm sure that's up for debate. It seems a little too much for me. The big film for March 31st. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it up there. Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. I'm putting it at the Let's Go tier because I want to tell you people, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. At Comic-Con, when the trailer released, I put this in my top 5 in terms of movies I was excited about because of the trailer. And people said, Brian, you're crazy. You're an idiot. You're a dork. You're all these things. This movie looks terrible. The special effects look terrible. I'm like, what are you talking about? It looks like it's having fun. Oh no, Dungeons and Dragons just won't work on the TV. We've had all these video game adaptations that work and gaming adaptations that work. We forget that Chris Pine is a star. Maybe you don't remember the Kelvin universe of Star Trek, those movies that he had, Star Trek and Star Trek Beyond. I really loved him in that. I think that he was great in Wonder Woman and so many other things. He is a star. Michelle Rodriguez is an action star. She's one of our greatest female action stars. And also the directors directed Game Night that came out in 2018. People thought that movie was going to be stupid, and it wasn't. It was the best comedy, or one of the top 3 comedies of that year. I think it was 2017, 2018. They also did the Vacation remake with Ed Helms, which was okay as well. So top tier, Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. The next movie came out in Sundance. It's a small film. A.V. Rockwell, black woman who's making a lot of strides and making a lot of noise in the directing world. Tiana Taylor starring and won the main award at Sundance. It looks like it's going to break my heart. So 1001, you have my attention. I think that you're going to be good. I know that you're going to be good because you won Sundance. Tiana Taylor, her star power, I'm old, maybe, I don't know. But I feel like her star power is not what it used to be. Can her name alone sell this film? I don't know. Let's see what happens with that. Air, which is the story of Nike. Nike is trying to basically court Michael Jordan before he hits the league to let them release a signature shoe. And Nike is not who we think Nike is now. Nike's a little small startup. Nike is like somebody who just built an app, basically, if I was to compare it to what they were back in the 80s. And they were able to build this empire together. Phil Knight and Michael Jordan. And it's going to be starring Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck is directing. Ben Affleck is an amazing director. Last time Matt Damon and Ben Affleck got together, well, they've worked plenty of times together, but the first time I think about is Good Will Hunting. They both won Oscars for their screenplay for that. So, Air, you have my attention. All right, now we're into April. The first movie comes out April 5th, Mario the Super Mario Brothers movie. And I'm going to go ahead and put in the Let's Go tier for Super Mario Brothers. Similar to Dungeons and Dragons, Super Mario Bros. A Let's Go for me because there was so much hate on Chris Pratt and Chris Pratt's voice when the first commercial came out. Like, why didn't they have the original voice for Mario do the voice for the movie? Blah, blah, blah. And then the trailer with Jack Black came out. And then we started another trailers. And the movie just kept looking better and better and better. I was sold on it from the beginning. Folks were just really beating up Chris Pratt because it's cool to not like Chris Pratt. I love Chris Pratt. They weren't paying Chris Pratt to be the Mario voice. They were paying Chris Pratt to be Chris Pratt. You want kids to say, oh, that's Star-Lord. Oh, that's the guy from Jurassic World voicing Mario. This is a kid's movie at the heart of it. That is a selling point for your film, and I think that they're going to make it work. Everybody else is doing voice because you want Chris Pratt to stand out. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The movie looks incredible. Each trailer we get looks better and better. I had a friend who was a doubter. I'm going to call him out on this live here. He said it was going to be terrible. Now he's saying it might be the best animated movie of the year. I'm not ready to go there, but I'm glad to see people coming along, even with the Chris Pratt doubts. Let's go for Super Mario. Now, I've had some pretty big blockbusters, nothing really artsy in my Let's Go tab. And I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. On a Wing and a Prayer. This is a movie that's coming straight to Amazon Prime. I'm not going to spend much time on it. I'm going to put it in the man. It's Dennis Quaid that's going to crash land a plane. And that's the most Dennis Quaid type of film that I've ever heard of. It's not going to be the best plane movie of the year. Plane was that. But Dennis Quaid is very consistent in terms of what he does in his performances and the projects that he picks. So the film's going to be at least serviceable because he's attached to it. Is it going to be great? No. Straight to streaming, Amazon Prime. Check it out if you want. I might do a midweek short review on it. I won't do a full review on that. April 7th, Chevalier is a movie about, probably not even pronouncing it right. I don't even care. I'm not pronouncing the movie right. Chevalier is a man for me. Look, it's about a black Frenchman who is a genius violinist and composer and also helps with the revolution in France and is this known historical figure that is elevated because of his proximity to blackness. The big thing about Chevalier is that they try to erase his blackness in history as history moves forward, which is what makes the movie look interesting, or the story interesting. But I'll say this. The movie looks corny as all get out. I'm sorry. It's probably going to be good, but it looks corny. It's not my type, my cup of tea. I don't really like period pieces like this all that much. I feel like it's trying too hard to say something instead of just letting the movie play out. That's the way the trailer comes out, but maybe that's the way that they're trying to sell the film. I don't know if it'll be more nuanced, but it looks real mad to me. Paint comes out on April 7th, starring Owen Wilson. Paint was going to be one of my Let's Go's because I thought it was about Bob Ross. Look at him. He has the Bob Ross fro. He's painting. He saying like the little speeches. This movie is not about Bob Ross. It's about some guy named, what do they call? Carl Nargle, who has a public access painting show, who basically gets a lot of women and is like living a high life. And then somebody comes that does something similar to him and like steals some of his thunder. It's not very Bob Rossy. It's just weird that they did that, and the way they're promoting this film, to me, is not very forthright. It's kind of misleading in terms of making us think that this is Bob Ross. I don't know why they promoted this film like this. The Pope's Exorcist, we have Russell Crowe playing an exorcist who is employed and sent out to exorcise demons on his behalf. So his direct boss is the Pope. I'm going to put this in, oh, here it is. Could be good. First, we're going to say it was mad because the trailer didn't approach me, but look who's attached to this. You have Russell Crowe, Oscar winner, delivers pretty good performances when he tries, and looks like he's trying in this film. And then you have directing Julius Avery, who did Son of a Gun. He directed Overlord, which was this horror sci-fi zombie crazy Nazi thing, which I absolutely loved. He also directed The Last Samaritan, which came out last year. That was that straight to Amazon Prime, Sylvester Stallone superhero movie that was absolutely terrible. But I'm going to say this is going to be much more like Overlord and less like The Last Samaritan, I hope. And if it's more like Overlord, this movie has the potential to kick ass. It really does. I think that Russell Crowe can still bring it. He has this accent that seems kind of authentic to me. I'm not really great with accents, though. I think it could be good. Here's a movie that my wife and I have been talking about so much, and that's Renfield, starring Nicolas Cage and Nicholas Hoult. The only thing I know is Nick Cage is playing a crazy, coked out looking Dracula. Nicholas Hoult is trying to help him feed, but also stop him at the same time. Awkwafina's in this film. She's funny and everything. I hope that she's doing more than what she's doing in the trailer. The trailer, she's kind of just had this dopey look on her all the time. But I think that they're going to give her something to do. And if that's the case, this is maybe the most fun film of the spring. It might take that away from Dungeons and Dragons. It might take that away from Mario Brothers. It could be very bad, though, as well, which I love about Nick Cage movies. You never know what you're going to get with these things. One True Loves. The only reason this kind of hit my radar is because Simu Liu was in it. It's a romance movie. You have this woman, her husband is lost, she thinks he's dead, and she ends up getting engaged to another man. She falls in love again eventually, only for her husband to show back up. It's kind of almost like a Castaway type of situation. The woman has to, Sophie's choice, to choose between her first love and her second love. I'm not a big romance movie guy. It seemed like a movie I would watch with my wife at home, which I'm hoping that we do. But I can even say that she's going to be more interested in the other film that comes out April 14th, which is Renfield. They come out the same day. I think Renfield is going to get everybody's attention. Guy Ritchie has another film coming out called The Covenant, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. It's a military Afghanistan war epic. I'm going to put this at you have my attention. I think that it'd be disrespectful to put any Guy Ritchie film under that. They haven't done a lot of promotion for this yet. I'm assuming that we're going to start seeing more trailers drop soon for this. Guy Ritchie is an amazing writer, but he did not write this film. My understanding is he just directed this film. So that is interesting to me. Will that translate without that real poppy script that he's known for? Let's check it out. Let's see. Now, I have a really hard time with these last couple because there's two that I want to put in that let's go territory, but I only have space for one. And man, I don't know. I'm going to choose the next film, Evil Dead Rise. I'm very excited about. Horror is my favorite genre of film. I love the Evil Dead franchise. When Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell is amazing. He's not in this one. This film seems very, very serious. This seems to be amazingly frightening. I have to put it in the you have my attention just because of a film that's coming up. But my goodness, I really am excited about that. Evil Dead Rise comes out April 21st. The film that I am going to put in Let's Go is a film that's been delayed, but it's finally coming out. It's this crazy kind of mind-bending. Ari Aster does horror and sci-fi and a bunch of other things. I really don't know where to classify this because the trailers are not very forthcoming with that. It probably is a mix of horror, sci-fi. We have Joaquin Phoenix in this film as well. He's playing different versions of himself, I think, throughout time or throughout the universes. Beau is Afraid is going to be incredible. I just feel like this is going to be a movie that we're going to be talking about at the end of the year. Everything Everywhere All at Once was the first film that I can think of in ever to be a genre type of film to get such critical acclaim and actually win awards. Beau is Afraid can do that. It's going to be much more edgy and much more genre than Everything Everywhere All at Once. Beau is Afraid is going to be at the core something a lot more psychedelic. So we'll see, but I am excited about this. I'm glad that Joaquin Phoenix continues to push himself. He picks the most interesting choices for film, and I doubt that this is going to be a stinker. Let's Go. Beau is Afraid is my final pick for my Let's Go tier. But still, there's a couple other films coming out that I want to talk about really quickly. Ghosted, starring Ana de Armas and Chris Pine. I almost want to put this in just because the trailer doesn't look good to me. But Chris Evans and Ana de Armas are really good. I'm going to put this in meh. It's basically about how Ana de Armas is a secret agent, FBI, CIA, I can't remember, and she ends up ghosting this guy who she went to a date with and had an incredible time with. And the guy played by Chris Evans tries to surprise her and show up in Great Britain where he finds out she is, and she's actually there on a mission. Only way this works is that they have to make us believe that Ana de Armas is an action hero. The director has to put her into a space to where she could be convincing. And that's going to require for Chris Evans to really shrink down himself. It's still hard not to see Captain America. He's still completely swole, completely cut. It'd been better if maybe Chris Evans, like it wasn't Chris Evans, it was somebody who was a little bit more thinner and maybe a little bit more kind of frail to kind of help that dichotomy. It's going to be hard to do that. If they can do that, it could be good, but right now I don't believe that they can. Ghosted is going to be an Apple TV film. Down to our final four. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I believe this is based off a Judy Blume book. It's a family teen drama. Not much to say about this film. It looks okay. It looks like it could be cute. What I don't think will be good is Peter Pan and Wendy. The trailer doesn't look good. Peter Pan is a weird story anyway. If there's anything that they can make live action for Disney, it would be Peter Pan because it's basically based off of people, right? So it doesn't have a lot of fantasy type of stuff. People could fly is probably the most you could do. Hook was really good. I liked Hook a lot, which came out years ago. But you have the power of Robin Williams in that film too. This one will not have that power. So I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be good. I think it's terrible territory. Just like big George Forman. The trailers just don't look good. They don't. And it's not anything against the actors. It's not anything about the director. I don't know whose idea it was to make a George Forman film. It seems like it's going to really focus on this part of his life where he came back and was able to win the heavyweight championship when he was like 45 or 50 or something. He was old when he won it. He just knocked some guy out that was really beating him up most of the match. And, you know, George Foreman was always known for his punching power, and he knocked some dude out and won the championship. And that's probably the coolest thing about his story. Of course, you got the Rumble in the Jungle, but he wasn't at the center of the story. Muhammad Ali was. He was just kind of there. Not kind of there. I mean, he was a draw, but the people reasonably care about the Rumble in the Jungle is because of Muhammad Ali. After that, he sold some grills. I don't know. It just seems like a very boring story. Maybe we'll learn something about George Foreman where there's some sort of pathos or conflict in his life that makes us consider some friction. But he's just like the most clean-cut, boring guy ever. At least that's the way his image is. And I'm sure he and his estate had some input in this. I doubt that there's going to be anything controversial or anything interesting in this film. It just seems like just a bore of a movie because the subject matter just really isn't made for film. Maybe it probably would be a good book, a good memoir. I have no idea how this film is going to be anything good. But I do know a film that's going to be amazing that also comes out April 28th, and that's Sisu. I'm not even going to go into why this movie... Oh, I'm sorry. I can't even put it in Let's Go. No! Sisu is going to go into You Have My Attention. It's crazy. It's a foreign movie. Look at the trailer. Maybe I'll put the trailer in the link to the trailer in the description at the end of this live stream. That's all of them. Did I miss anything? Is there any movies that I missed that are coming out in the rest of this month or in April that anybody wants to talk about? Let me know in the comment section. I can't wait to review these films. It's really all I got.